All right, so why don't we commence the meeting? We'll call the meeting to order. All members are currently in the room and present, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dave, if you have anything you'd like to add, let me know. You can raise your hand if you'd like to. Just anytime, if you don't do it right now, that's fine. So with some of our meetings, if there's not a lot of people, sit at the table, have a discussion. Hasn't happened lately, but so with that, why don't we just I'll turn to both of you for comments that you may have. The agenda is relatively late today. There's more things I'm lining up for January 13th. We're going to have a handbook revision. It's our third handbook in about 12 years. The third iteration of it. The town never had one. I'll get that to you in advance for you to look at. It's lengthy, but and then I think there's a pension plan, another with the pension plan, a couple things. But any comments, Jane?
No, so when you say the 13th, does that mean we're not having a meeting until the 13th?
Well, the next meeting's on December 23rd.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling it out. If we needed to have a meeting, I would say we will have a meeting if we need to have one. And we can have a special before then if we didn't want to have it that week. So I shouldn't assume that, but
No,
I did.
that's fine. Yeah, I was thinking that might be the case, so.
Yeah. Jane, do you have any comments that you'd like to make?
I don't.
So, well, I'd like you to make a comment. Tell us.
Yes. Oh, okay. We had a really lovely event on Friday evening. We lit the Heroes Tree and Kathy Cross was there. We had Senator Blumenthal was there. And Lisa Carlberg did a great job emceeing the night. The Glitter Girls did a great performance, and we had the Freedom Riders. Lots of American flags. It was a cold night, but it was really beautiful. It was a beautiful night and really lovely to be able to have that tree here in our town is quite a statement.
Yeah.
And of course, the Kate, as always, was great, and the Public Works folks had done a wonderful job, getting the town ready with all the lights, and it just looks fantastic out there all the way down Main Street.
So, yeah, thanks for doing that. Thanks for filling in there.
Sure.
Scotty?
Well, I was commenting about Main Street. I had come home last week from Philadelphia and I'm driving down Main Street and I went, wow, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So really that is appreciated. I know it's part of a plan that's been kind of been evolving.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we're looking forward to the Torchlight Parade, which is such a neat tradition to be a part of in Old Saybrook. So I'm happy for what goes on here in the town. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Jane, you all set for the Torchlight?
I do have a frock. If it's warm enough.
I mean, if you purchased anything, let me know.
Okay.
And we can, specifically for that, you shouldn't be out of pocket on that.
Okay, all right, thanks, Carl.
It is gonna be cool. It looks like there might even be some flurries, but after the parade, just so you know, Jane, they'll put out the wagon at the end of the parade and we kind of stand up there for a little bit.
Okay.
You can bail at most any time, but we do stand there for a lot of it, so it can be chilly. But walking down the parade route is like, I have videos of walking down it, just holding, and it's like nothing. It's really, really very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I have a bunch of stuff. Speaking of Rob Lemire, I've taken my dog out to Park. I used to do it a lot. The last couple weekends, I took her out there just to get her some exercise, and she doesn't go far. I do let her off lead, but I know. And what I'm absolutely amazed at is that for disc golf, the parking lot is full
Yeah.
every time you go on the weekends. And the first time I went, I was like, what the heck is going on? And
Because you don't see people in the
it's
field.
disc golf.
Disc golf.
And I went the next day, same thing. And then I went back this past weekend, same thing. And they're super nice people. And I saw Rob out there actually on, I think it was Sunday. I'm looking at Rob going, this is amazing. And it is just parking lot there. And I was talking to Billy Claffey's wife. Bill lives out that way. And she was saying she's a runner and she runs in that area. She goes, forget it. She goes, it's parking lot's packed every time. That has been I think, an under the radar, maybe to me anyway, massive hit for this town. So give Rob Lemire a lot of kudos on that, Park and Rec a lot of kudos on that. It was so shocking to me, I felt like I had to bring it up here. So I do want to state that publicly. All right, Heroes Tree we covered. I also went briefly to the Starlight Festival. They did a wonderful job. Economic Development and Youth and Family Services did a great job. Well attended all day. Santa did the lights at 4 o'clock. Really, really looked nice out there. They did a very nice job. Probate court is fully moved in, FYI. Oh, Jane, you know that, of course. So that move has gone well. I've sent an invoice, kind of just a notification invoice to all the other 9 towns. So this was a job that we were gonna basically split. Scott, as you know, this board recommended to the Board of Finance that the town of Old Saybrook from surplus funds last year cover the first 20,000 of renovations. So the whole project was about 40. And let me tell you, a lot of electrical, fair bit of construction. So I think all in all, it was a win-win for everybody. And the other towns are not gonna be out of pocket any sort of shocking number. It's gonna be a very affordable project. And keep the costs of the 9 towns, very limited. Really, the probate court is a inexpensive court to support. Obviously, they get a lot of support from the state of Connecticut. If the probate court did go to a rental, as was being discussed, it would have been far more expensive. And that was one of the options that we were looking at a year and a half ago. So they're fully in. I do want to talk about some of the construction going on. Route 1 is going to finish up this week. So the traffic issue is the new drainage that has to go in. That will be done and finished this week. That company will not be coming back, and then next year it'll just be sidewalks. I don't know what else to say about that, other than it's been a lot. It's been bad out on Route 1, I know.
But it'll be done by Friday.
Well, the drainage part of it, and then the sidewalks will continue next year. So the sidewalks are beyond Atlantic Seafood right now, and they will continue all the way to the Westbrook town line.
Right, but will there be construction going on next week
There will not.
around, the holiday?
There will not be. It ends this week.
We're gonna be really.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
And on Main Street, they are not going to be able to get to the actual crosswalk in the road. It's just gonna be too cold to put down what they're planning on putting down. They are gonna be able to get in all the pads. We did have a meeting. We have a construction progress meeting with them every 2 weeks on Main Street, every 2 weeks on Route 1, alternating Mondays. And we did tell them it's really important that they make safe all the landing pads, especially the one by Liberty Bank where everybody gathers on Saturday night. So I'm hopeful that they will make good with that promise. If they're not completely done, to at least have it be completely safe. And that project will pick up again in the spring. you'll see the stanchions go in for the rapidly repeating flashing beacon buttons that are going to be installed. Those should go in this week, so people will see that, but the actual crosswalk.
They
not.
wanna see that, we wanna see that.
So that's that. I also went on Sunday to two events. Scott was at one of them. I went to the Lake the Way event at Saybrook Point Inn where they had put in the new spindle at the breakwater jetty. And Richard Blumenthal was also there. I just went up to him. He said, "Where were you Friday night?" And but you know, I've been here 14 years and more than the governor, more than a lot of people, I see Senator Blumenthal and different parties, whatever, but a very, very, and I say this to everybody I come into contact with, incredibly personable guy who I feel like I actually know after 14, I do,
Yeah,
but
you do.
he's he shows up, people make fun of him for showing up to joke, but guess what? When he shows up in your town, one of 169, it means something. And I say that to him. I tell him to his face. So he was there. Nice event, very crowded event, a lot of young people, as you would expect, a lot of friends of the families that were struck with tragedy. And the new spindle is up. As an FYI, Scott Mitchell, who's the harbor master, has mentioned that the town may want to have the old spindle, which has probably been there for God knows how long, I don't know. So we're in the process of inquiring whether we could acquire the old spindle. What we would do with it is undetermined yet. Probably talk to Perk and Rec, Economic Development, and Harbor Management about that. So we've made inquiry. I'll just say that.
What's Scott's role?
I'm sorry?
What's Scott Mitchell's role?
Harbor Master?
Harbor master.
Yeah, employed by the Harbor Management Commission. So I was at that, and then subsequent to the Lake the Way event, I went over to Fireman's Field. Feel like this should be mentioned that Wayne Wysocki celebrated 50 years with the fire department, and that in itself is an accomplishment.
Well,
50 years doing anything is an accomplishment. And so congratulations to Wayne Wysocki. Truly, we had our differences when he worked with the town here and there, but 50 years is 50 years, and congratulations to him. Very interesting guy. He now is a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines at age 70 or whatever.
That's
crazy. I was talking to him about that. And lastly, Leanne and I, we have a couple more to do, but we've met with every major department to do an initial review of their budgets. And those are the budgets that, when we have our joint meetings with the Board of Finance, that you will see, just meeting with the department heads, seeing what they're coming in with, initially talking about capital projects and things of the sort. So we've had about probably 10 meetings last week and this week, and I think we have a couple more. So we are reviewing that. And that's any questions based on all that? All right.
Do you have the schedule for the meetings that are gonna be coming up January and
For the budgets?
budgets? Yeah.
I do, and I will get that to you.
Okay, great.
Trying to think if the Board of Finance voted on it. Those are gonna be, well, they're typically some joint meetings. Yeah, I'll get you the schedule.
Because we have some Saturday workshop built in.
We're not gonna do Saturday this year, so I think what we're gonna do, we talked to the Board of Finance about this at the last meeting, is, I think the last week in January, do like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3 nights in a row. And I'll get that scheduled too. There's a lot of towns that do their budgets, over the course of 5 or 6 nights, and that'll be about that, by the time we get there. So, and I think George has a pretty good handle on, doesn't want to see a lot of detail in that. They want to hear like, the vision of the departments, and they can study the budgets on their own. But obviously the department heads want to put a lot of color to the budget, so we'll see how it goes. They all are generally gonna have PowerPoints to go through, but I'll get you the schedule.
And do you think we'll be wrapped up by January 31st, or
So-
could it go into February?
It will go into
It will,
February.
okay.
Oh, it will.
Okay.
Between the Board of Ed and the Police Commission,
Okay.
it will. So the charter states that the Board of Selectmen have to vote on a budget in February, and we send it to the Board of Finance for March 1st.
Okay.
That is what the charter says. So years ago, the way we used to do it, probably for the first 5 or 6 years that Scott and I were here, we would have, the Board of Selectmen would have budget workshops with the department heads. First of all, I'd meet with the department heads, then we'd have budget workshops. Then the Board of Finance would have budget workshops, then the Board of Finance would discuss the budget. So what we did is we just said, let's everybody get in early on this. It's truly not brain surgery. And let's have a joint discussion in the months of January and February. We are still recommending a budget to the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance can then make changes. So nobody's being prejudiced by this. And I think it shortens the process in that everybody is educated earlier. And nobody's being blindsided with a budget request on March 1st, which is late in the process.
Oh, yeah.
When you start looking at an early May referendum. So what we did is we started doing these joint meetings probably, like I said, 5, 6 years ago. Worked out great, really has.
But you're thinking though that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is late January?
I am. Are you away or?
No, I just wanna make sure that I set my nights up on that. It's
Let
beginning of
me,
tax season.
let me get you the proposed schedule,
Yeah.
all right? And then. Right. Okay, we have minutes from the special board of selectmen meeting November 18. I'll make a motion to approve those. Is there a second?
Okay.
Any issues with the minutes, comments, questions, amendments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hey, one other thing, actually, I'm under comments. That's the reason I have this. Dock and Dine property, so I'm not going to assume that anyone here is for or against the transfer of these properties, but what I would like to do is bring before the voters the option. And we have come to an agreement on terms that I've negotiated. And as we move forward with the process, I'd like to give everybody lots of time to look at the documents. The schedule as I'd like to see it, and I talked to the registrars of voters about this, is a public hearing tentatively, and by the way, this board will set this schedule. So this is not final. We'll vote on this in January. Or I'd like to put it before this board in January. Public hearing on Monday, February 2nd. Town meeting a week later. So the town meeting adjourns to referendum. So the town meeting is really just like we do with the budget, no action can be taken. It's just simply, the public hearing is to, obviously, similar to the last public hearing we had on this. The town meeting would simply be there to discuss as people see fit and then adjourn it to referendum. The referendum, though, would not be until March 24 or March 31, much later. In
What-
that,
Those 2 dates?
it would be
Maybe.
one of the
One of the
days, but it would be March 24 or 31, which is a Tuesday. I had to, it would be at the high school, one voting location, and I had to talk to Pamela Story to make sure that there were no conflicts in the gym with either of those dates. One of the reasons for the lengthy time period between the public hearing and the town and the referendum is so that folks can vote by absentee ballot if they live out of town. And that would give the registrars and the town clerk enough time to formulate, to receive the question and then get a ballot. So I did want to put that on your radar just for early January, okay? That's why I brought that calendar. We got through the minutes, right?
Yes.
All right. The next item is the resolution. Jane, have we discussed this unit-based pricing? Have we discussed
For the the.
item number A? Yeah.
I'm aware of it from another meeting. I think you mentioned it at the last meeting that
I think
we were
we
gonna
talked
be
about
getting.
Yeah, all right. So basically, it's a grant.
Grant or something like that.
It's a grant we received. It would be strictly educational in the first part. Yeah, we have to come up with a committee. And I did mention it to the Board of Finance briefly. So basically, when we get a grant from the state, notice of grant award, we have to enter into a resolution and I have to forward this off to the Board of Finance for an appropriation. Since it's a reimbursable grant, we need to spend the money and then we get our money back. This grant would be, not a lot's gonna happen soon because this board probably in January is going to have to appoint. And Jane, maybe you can think of a few people who might be interested. I'll think of a few people, probably 5 total. Scott, if you have any names that you can come up with, probably 5 people total who would kind of be energetic, maybe about composting more, making that opportunity more viable at the transfer station, even if it includes increasing bins for compostable goods. There's probably not going to be any street side pickup of compost, which is a whole different ballgame. But just making people more aware of what they're throwing away and the weight of what they're throwing away. Whether we proceed with the program after that educational period is truly up to the reception by public at large.
So of the 172,000, how much is that education and
Probably like,
communication? 10,000?
yeah, not a lot.
Okay. And what's the rest of it for? Like,
Implementation would involve different colored garbage bags. You've heard, and so a lot of it would be supplementing. And by the way, there's a consultant that works on this. They are state bid, state awarded consultant called Waste Zero. They would be our consultant on this. They've been pushing this program for 10 years. They do it a lot in Massachusetts. They do it all over the Eastern Seaboard. Kristen Brown has been in front of the Board of Selectmen before. So it would the grant pays for the consultant services also, in addition to any costs and expenses like the first year and a half of this program. So it's significant underwriting until you get the program off the ground. There's no guarantee it gets off the ground.
right, yeah. So, I mean, what kind of buy-in do you think we have? I mean, certainly the schools is something that we
need the public at
Yeah.
large. This is only the transfer station.
okay,
We need the people who go to the transfer station to buy in.
so this is not businesses.
Not,
This is,
it is not.
Okay.
This is to reduce the tonnage.
Social consciousness a little bit and recognizing that it's a cost-effective manner.
If you
Win-win. I mean,
possibly,
that's the sell.
not everybody is gonna see it that way.
Okay.
If you have all waste at the end of your driveway, then this doesn't affect you.
Well, but does it? I mean, is that, should, I use a private company to take our, for our garbage. How do I need to change my behavior to compost? Or
Not even to
or start-
compost,
Okay.
to recycle more.
Yep.
And make sure that think about your waste scraps in a different way. And whether it's composting, whether it's bringing them to the transfer station where we have Blue Earth set up to take them.
Yep.
So, maybe buying things differently too. There's that. Buying less, so you waste less, I mean, we're all guilty of it, I think. So
Do we have an idea of what percentage of our residents take their own garbage to the transfer station versus pay for
yeah, we think it's about 50 to 60%, 50 or so, I think, go to the transfer station, and we think it's about half and half.
I
But,
mean, we use it occasionally.
exactly,
So
that's the other
like,
thing.
I would be happy to, try and start and see how much work it is for us to change our behavior on that.
Yeah, so I have some wooded area in my backyard, and I throw a lot of my scraps back there.
Mhm.
And I'll probably have a bear there someday or something,
Well-
but,
You see, that's what my wife's she's like, I don't wanna bring all the animals that's gonna attract.
well, yeah. I mean, but it's a wooded area, so there's already animals back there, but, and then, by the way, I kind of on this note, I got a call from, Brenda Dyson, who we appointed to zoning as an alternate, and she lives in Cornfield Point, and apparently Cornfield Point this year did a whole pumpkin recycling thing. They contacted a farmer, and she's like, I'd really love to do this townwide next year so that people aren't throwing their pumpkins away at the transfer station.
I have 6 pumpkins in the back of my truck right now.
We literally chuck them in the back, and that we do put in the woods,
Yeah.
but not banana peels and
Yeah.
such.
Where you taking them to the transfer?
She wants me to bring them to someplace,
Yeah.
cause she read that you're supposed to put them someplace, so now I'm gonna have to.
They are,
Pay attention.
anyway,
Okay.
so, this is early stages. What I'd probably do is have, this board's gonna be way more involved in this, okay? So I'll have Kristen come in, maybe at our next meeting, might be a good idea to explain the program,
Mhm.
all right?
Yep.
So why don't I do that? In the meantime, I do wanna get the resolution out and, start talking about this in front of the Board of Finance. Item number A, I'm gonna move it. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? So let me make a note to have Kristen. So have I given you any other information on this program yet? Have you seen
I
it?
heard a presentation that you did at the Goodwin PTA. I was at that meeting. You talked about it.
That's not this, though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, not this particular, you were talking about the program overall. Yeah, you did.
Okay, not the that was WPC. You mean at the Goodwin School?
You did, yeah, at the
That was
PTA.
that was WPCA. This is not WPCA.
I know, no, but you talked about food
I
scraps.
did.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, you were doing some PR on it. We didn't have this grant,
yeah,
but.
funny. All right, people tell me things I don't remember.
You're very excited about it, so.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. All right. Thank you. So we have some appointments, as we move forward with this, we're gonna have more. And if need be, we can even appoint them prior to our next meeting, depending on, how soon folks meet. With a lot of the land use boards, just so you know, I have them meet with Chris Costa or Lynette Wacker, because Lynette does HCC, Lynette does inland wetlands. And I just want people to know what they're getting into and be educated a little bit. And I want Chris Costa and Lynette to make sure that there's a reasonable fit for people. It's not, there's no litmus test, anything. You don't have to be an environmental engineer to be on inland wetlands. You don't have to be an architect to be on the ARB, but I think people should be educated before they get into it. So we're gonna have some more appointments to inland wetlands and a few other boards as we move forward in the new year. So with regard to economic development, there's a vacancy at our last meeting. David Vogel was elevated. Greg Gernhardt has had a couple meetings with Jennifer Donahue. Actually, Jennifer was quite excited that Greg was willing to serve. I don't know, do you know Greg? Yeah. He's an unaffiliated voter, actually. So I'm gonna move Greg's appointment as an alternate to EDC. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll let you do these today.
Yeah.
Let's do a lot last
I know.
time.
Discussion.
It's like, you don't wanna,
Yeah.
but
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
HDC, we're gonna not appoint anybody at the moment. We do have someone. So we need to have 3 of the 5 regular members of that commission live in the district. Bill Childers resigned. We have elevated Erin Slava or Sleva, I think, and she doesn't live in the district. So Tommy, Lori, who is Rob. I know Rob and Tommy a little bit. They live in the old teaching house. Do you know them
The
also?
Laurie's.
Yeah. So Tommy Laurie is willing to come on, which would be great. She's an attorney, her husband's an attorney. And I've communicated with Erin a few times. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, so we'll straighten that out. Pension and Benefits Board, with the passing of Daryl Pataska, we had a regular member vacancy. Jim Joaquin, I sent that to you, right? His qualifications. No?
No, but that's okay.
Jim is an attorney. He was, like the last 20 years, chief counsel at Conover Real Estate Group, huge group. Jim's a very highly qualified guy, wonderful man. I got to know him, actually Newt Brainerd in the borough of Fenwick referred him to me about a year ago. And as soon as I met the guy, I'm like, we need to get you like better involved because he's just a smart man. So I'm really happy that Jim's willing to do this. This is a board that is a low publicity board, but does a lot of important work on the town pension. So I'm gonna move Jim Joaquin.
second.
Seconded. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. And okay, then that's a 5-year term. Public Health Nursing Board, we had someone step up to be an alternate, Julie. I want to say, I'm gonna check the spelling of that name. Yeah, that's Schwartz. That is correct, Julie Schwartz. Former nurse. Now they go to Florida for 3 months. Julie told me, but that meeting can be done by Zoom. In fact, I saw Mary Briscoe at Saybrook Point last night. They had their annual gym membership meeting there, and Mary said a lot of the members do it by Zoom. So Julie Schwartz is willing to step in as an alternate, which is great. And I will move that. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Shellfish Commission, Rob Lemire is willing to come on, which is great. Rob brings a lot of energy to a lot of the stuff that he does. So I'll move Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Frank Keeney is willing to step in as ZBA. I'll move Frank Keeney. Is there a second?
Second.
Frank Really happy Frank's willing to step up in this role. I think Frank is and even as when he was chairman of the police commission, just a level-headed guy who treats everybody fairly. So I think Frank will be very good on ZBA, and he did a stint on ZBA a few years ago. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And ZBA, another appointment, Herb Searle, I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Herb, former DTC chair, but Herb is another one of those level-headed guys who just seems like he'd be a good common sense appointment in this case. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. I think that's it. Any other business anyone needs to bring up? Anything in particular? If not, I will get a couple things to you. Get you the scheduled meetings. If Leanne's in, maybe you want to stop in right now.
Yep.
So you can schedule something. And we'll square a few more things away for the January meeting. I'm already building that agenda. So, and if we need to have a special meeting before then, we will. If not, have a great holiday. We'll see you Saturday, regardless.
Yeah.
We meet up by Liberty Bank.
Oh, is that where it starts?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that is a
Right.
short walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, great.
So meet there, and just we'll see you there. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.